Oh. Oh. Corona.
Getting centered.
Oh, getting bull packed.
What's going on, y'all?
Oh my gosh, there's weed in here.
There's marijuanas in there. We should totally smoke them. I think it would be an excellent idea.
I'm missing an important ingredient. There it is.
Fire! Because what would you do without fire? Hello, Canna fam. Welcome to day 7 of 420, where we're celebrating 30 days of 420, and we're all stuck inside. So, I mean, I don't know. It really sucks, but it doesn't have to suck because we have the technology.
Sorry, am I interrupting?
And once we're all done coughing. Hold on, it's my turn.
Corona cough. It's 420. 7. 20. 20.
Magic number 7. And I am always the Commander-in-Chief. The Commander-in-Chief. G.I. Mary Jane. Joining me once again, my homie Zag. And Zag's up there sleeping on the dashboard in her beautiful little jacket that she may or may not model for us later on today. What are we smoking on right now?
You packed that. I think it's
that. I did pack that. You're right. Here, why don't you finish that hit?
I've got,
There's lighters everywhere.
I've got some Humboldt Kings. Deuce, 0.68% THC.
Humboldt Kings, is that the brand or the strain?
I believe that's the strain.
Humboldt Crush.
Oh, Humboldt Crush. Oh, crushed it.
Crush.
Oh, you hear that? Do you hear that? That's sounds
the
like
sound of my people.
Sounds like coffee.
It sounds like coffee.
I would be back.
We'll give you the honors.
Yeah, I got you.
Such a sweet guy. So, hey guys. Now I'm alone, and now I feel lonely, but there's 3 of you watching, and that's awesome. And I think I saw Helen joining us. Helen, are you there? I've got my awesome Walk for Change shirt on right now. Helen Yeeple is organizing the Walk for Change, which was a collective effort where we saw to organize all the grassroots organizations across the country to walk from LA to DC as a show of solidarity, a show of we mean it. But now we're all stuck inside, so who knows if we'll be able to do that walk. We can still do walks in the form... we're going to have to think that. We should have little walk-a-thons, less than 10 groups. What do you think?
A thon a walk.
A thon a walk. Groups under 10. Corona walk-a-thon. That could be something. All right, so as usual, I've got the Freedom Hotline right here. And we'll be doing what we can to keep track of your questions and comments, even though there's like a clear, 30-second delay or something, it seems. It's frustrating, but the internet tends to be that way. I'm going to go ahead and share this on my personal wall right now, and I invite you all to do the same. We're going to smoke some weeds with you guys. The marijuanas.
That's why I'm here.
Woo!
I don't even like hanging out on live.
The marijuanas. I know, it's so totally overrated, right? And then I want to talk about a couple of stories that I saw in the news today, all of which can be found right here on G.I. Mary Jane, at G.I. Mary Jane on Facebook. We have 10 people logged in.
Oh, man.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hi.
Hey. Oh, volume down.
So...
Linda King says hi. Hi, Linda. And we are getting ready to do just that. Again, we're smoking on Humboldt Kush, which is...
Wasn't it Crush? Am I crazy?
Humboldt Kings.
Yeah, but...
is the brand.
Crush.
Oh, Crush, not Kush.
Crushed it.
There's a R in between the K and the U. Crush. And this is supposed to be... Well, it says it's a sativa, but when I looked this up on Weed Maps, it told me that it was an indica. I don't know. It's got this sweet, very gassy smell. I love those gases. What are you guys smoking on right now? Let me know in the comments, and I'm going to grind some of this up. I don't know. I like using my fingers if the bud's getting a little dry. You should be getting your weed at a particular moisture content from the dispensaries. You know, it should be a little bit sticky. It shouldn't crumble in your fingers like this is. This has been sitting around for, what, week or 2 now, Zig?
Yeah. What's the harvest date? Does it say? I don't know if they do that.
I think they do. Let me check here. I did see that on one of the bags that we purchased. Oh, okay, here it is. Harvest date 8/15, package 10/23. I don't know if I like that
That's
so
2
much.
months of curing isn't long enough.
It's really not. I mean, I kind of understand the industry having to keep up with the demand, but you know, I'd rather have quality products. Just, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
I know I'm off center from the camera. I'm making coffee.
Yeah, he's being an awesome friend.
I'm making coffee.
A friend with weed is a friend indeed, and a friend that makes you coffee is awful. What rhymes with coffee?
Coffee.
Coffee. I don't know about you guys, but I have to start my day every day with my cannabis and my coffee, or it's not a good time. It's not a good time.
You're not gonna have a good time.
You're not gonna have a good time. If you pizza when you're supposed to French fry, you're not gonna have a good time. Speaking of pizza, we have finally arrived 2-3 days ago now at the Garden of Freedom with Team and the Fed, where we're building. We are rebuilding before it even falls down, because it looks like it might, you guys. And if it doesn't, at least we'll have a nice place to be, right?
Yeah.
Out here in the middle of the desert, the sunsets are absolutely incredible.
Deserts have always had better sunsets, in my opinion, than anywhere else I've been.
So many colors.
You get to see the whole sky, the whole horizon. If on a cloudy day, it turns all different kinds of shades of red and pink.
Oh my gosh. If you look on my personal page, you'll see I haven't posted any sunset pics from here. I posted a sunset pic from... No, I did. I posted a sunset pic from here the day that we landed.
Yeah.
Just to kind of document and record that monumental moment. And Zig, we're all packed up. Would you like to do the honors?
You're welcome to the greens.
Oh, come on, ladies first.
Bazinga. So where is everyone watching us from? It looks like we have 12, 13 people in here.
Lucky number 13. Oh my God.
Post where you're at and what you're smoking on.
We're over the gatherings of 10 or less law. Oh my God, this is delicious.
Yeah, it's such a tasty weed, I think.
It's really gassy, man. I smelled the gas. I had to sniff it like a second time to smell the gas, but you can really taste it. And it's pretty smooth. It's pretty smooth. I can dig it a whole bunch. So we did, what's that word? We researched the Arizona cannabis growing laws here, and it seems to be a little goofy. You got to be 25 miles away from a dispensary, qualified patient, and you have to get a secondary permission slip from the government, which...
Who knows how much that costs? I wonder if there's a filing fee. Like, you want to grow your own pot? We've already taken taxes from you. We've already taken your health care information. Now we're going to take more money from you. We're going to measure how far you live from a dispensary, and then we'll decide if you can grow your own medicine or not. That's Arizona.
Because that seems totally fair. Now, is it 25 miles the way the crow flies, or is
that's
it
a good
25
question.
miles?
That's a good question. Is it as a crow flies, or is it based on the road? Do they use Google Maps? I'm not sure. That's a question.
It's crazy. We're going to find out for you, though, in the coming weeks. But today, we're going to talk about some not so great things. Some great things.
Some marijuana news.
Some marijuana related news.
With this whole coronavirus thing popping off, there haven't been too many marijuana arrests in the last few weeks, but I don't know if this is saying, kind of a sign that things are returning to normal, or if it's a sign that they're still enforcing the marijuana laws. But yeah, she'll catch you up on these articles.
Normal. I don't know how arresting people for a plant is in anybody's reality considered something that is normal. And actually, a sweet little old lady in California. Hold on, let me log in here to thegrowthop.com, which if you guys visit the article, they're going to ask you for your birthday. It's in UK format, so you want to put day first, then the month, then the year, and I couldn't figure out for the life of me.
Yeah, I struggled with that when I was...
Why I couldn't get into this site. Woo, stoner problems. But yeah, thegrowthop.com reported this morning a 73-year-old woman's been charged after 500 marijuana plants were found on her property. And then the subheading there says, never too old to grow cannabis. So I like their use of the actual terminology here, and still despise their use of the word marijuana. Even though I'd like us as a community to really embrace that negative term that, after all, was created to criminalize an entire race of people and blame them on the marijuana problems that were non-existent. So yeah, this was published yesterday, April 6th, the 6th day of 420, on the Growth Op. The second word in this article, I had to look it up, and precursor here. So apparently we're millennials.
I'm a millennial.
I guess so. I
own it. I don't think that our generation is as terrible as a lot of people like us to believe.
I like to use the word or the term, or identify more with the term Zennial, which is right in between Gen X and millennials. And we learned today from the growthop.com. Do you know what the 70 to 80 generation has been called? 70 to 80 years old now. All right, let me get my
oh yeah, this is a mouthful.
Pronunciation tongue. A septuagenarian. Septuagenarian.
Septuagenarian.
We want to.
What it is somebody who's currently in between the ages of 70 and 80. We learned a new word. We had to Google it.
You know, because we all need labels. The divisiveness is totally important in order for the government to continue their evil plan to separate the people. But a 70 to 80-year-old woman in California has been busted after police executed a search warrant on a property in Corcoran, California, and found 3 separate grow operations. Susan Brewington has been charged with suspicion of cultivation of cannabis and for her part in growing more than 520 plants illegally. She was 100 over the limit. 420. Get it? Can I get a badum-tis?
Bazinga.
Oh, I like that one. Also on the property at the time was Lawrence Espinoza, 44, who admitted to growing the cannabis and who faces the same charge. Members of the Kings County SWAT, you know, those guys with the
militarized
police with the guns and the scary masks and stuff, removed and destroyed the plants after executing the warrants last week. The plants have an estimated street value of $520,000.
I wouldn't pay that much for plants that aren't done growing yet, would you?
I wouldn't either. And I think this all the time when they bust a grow operation. Like, where do they come up with this number? I mean, this is clearly $1,000 per
plant.
Per plant. 520,000.
And how do they know how much that sapling is going to yield?
They don't know how much it's going to yield. They have no idea. And depending on what portion of the grow process it was destroyed at, it may not yield anything. So apparently a crop can be valued. That should be my next research project.
Is how do they determine the value of a sapling
Figuring
marijuana plant?
Out the valuation of a plant, not the final product. So, fun thing on how they stalked and hunted down this
senior citizen,
peaceful farmer, sweet little old lady who, I'm just going to go out on a limb here. If she had 520 plants, she wasn't doing it by herself. Not at 78 and not at 28 even. Like, you're not going to be able to handle a crop size like that.
Sounds like a challenge.
Dude, it sounds like a challenge. Are you threatening me? God, no, I've never grown before. Anywho, last month, on this side of the border, Nova Scotia RCMP, that's their police department, stopped a 68-year-old man from Newfoundland and charged him with a significant quantity of cannabis edibles, it said. It says the cannabis and illegal tobacco was seized, and the senior was charged with, among other counts, possession of cannabis. So, I guess you can't have tobacco leaves on you too. We're gonna go back.
Yeah, they said that the person was charged with illegal tobacco. We couldn't find any more information on what that might have meant. I don't know what illegal tobacco is.
Like, is it tobacco, like whole tobacco leaf? Because that's honestly what I prefer, and what's ridiculously hard to get a hold of, and I wish I could.
But I don't know if that's illegal.
But yeah, apparently, that might be something that's illegal. I'm also curious as to the tobacco growth laws. You know, are you allowed to grow your own tobacco, or do they criminalize that? Like, I do know, and this is from growing up in Maryland, which Maryland's itty bitty. So the Maryland, D.C., Virginia area kind of makes up the size of your average state. And there's a lot of, you know, traveling between states just on a daily basis. And the price of cigarettes in Virginia is like significantly less than anywhere in the country, because that's where all the tobacco is grown. So I guess there's less shipping charges or whatever. I don't know the infrastructure, but
less sin tax would be my guess.
Less sin tax, coming out of Bible Belt, Virginia. But it's actually illegal to cross the state lines into Maryland with any more than X amount of cartons of cigarettes. Like, that's actually a law.
Yeah, so I this last winter spent most of my time down near the Mexican border, and I was going across the border and getting cartons of cigarettes. $9 a carton, second carton's half off, paying no taxes on them, and coming back with them, which I know isn't exactly illegal. It isn't exactly legal, but that's the only thing that I could think of that would make it illegal tobacco.
I've never been to Mexico. I've been to Costa Rica, though. Their cigarettes are super, super, super cheap. I flew home from Costa Rica with cigarettes. And, like, that could be, like, some felony offense that I don't even know about.
So the border says that you're allowed 10 packs of cigarettes back across at a time per month. I don't know how they measure loose tobacco, but...
That's a very good question. That's a very good question. We get caught up with the comments here. Oh, Bobby Stringer's watching again. Quarantine water on Shep's tonic water and zinc will prevent this virus. Interesting. I haven't heard that one yet.
I've heard something about quinine before. It's what I drink when I have a gin and tonic is tonic water with quinine. But I don't know the validity of that.
I don't know either. Here's what I think will prevent you from catching the virus. Stay fucking healthy. Drink water, fruits, vegetables, protein, iron.
And then coat your lungs with some resin.
Definitely coat your lungs with some cannabis. I can't see where it would hurt. And actually, we'll get on to that. They're looking into that now.
Yeah, they are. The government is actually researching whether or not THC can help with coronavirus. But it's a Schedule 1, so I'm not exactly sure how they can legally do it when they don't allow federal funding for research into Schedule 1 substances.
Why would we want to research something that we're regulating?
Question for the philosophers.
Oy vey, oy vey. Well, they can't test it on THC for the reasons you just said. So there is a company that is testing on CBD.
CBD, interesting.
Interesting. So we'll figure out what's going on with that. Timmy Mack says, cool, never knew you grew up here in Maryland. Timmy, I am definitely Baltimore native all the way.
Get her mad. You can hear her Baltimore accent come right out.
Let's go, O's. Going down the ocean on. I did find some Old Bay. So.
Some sorbet?
Old Bay. Old Bay. You know what Old Bay is?
Of course not.
It's the most perfect seasoning in the world. And Old Bay, if you're watching, and I know you're not, let's get some infused Old Bay out on the market. Trying to reconnect, oh!
We're back.
Whoop!
I grew up on the West Coast, so no, we didn't have no Old Bay. We had Lowry's seasoning.
I've heard of Lowry's. And then they have Tony Chachere's is big down in New Orleans.
New Orleans?
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
I don't have that accent. But yeah, Timmy, Baltimore, born and raised. Did a stint in Carroll County. Great place out there. I'm teasing. No, but I do. I love Maryland. And I love Maryland for its medical market. And I did a lot of work in Maryland. I lobbied in 2016, 17, and 18 at the state level in Maryland. 2 of those years at the federal level, alongside Maryland's chapter of NORML, which NORML, if you don't know, is the oldest pro-cannabis volunteer citizen lobbying organization, founded by Keith Stroup in 1971. I might be getting that year mixed up with the Libertarian Party founding date, but wouldn't it be cool if they're both founded in the same year?
That would make sense.
That would make sense. That would make sense. So yeah, Timmy, I served as the director of outreach for Maryland's chapter of NORML for a couple of years, and then I realized that this whole state level stuff isn't working. It is working. It's totally working.
Slowly.
But There's one thing stopping everybody in every state from doing what they want to do. Can anybody guess what it is?
I think I can.
Can you guess? Let's give everybody a second to guess while we hit the bowl again, as a matter of fact. Let's catch up with the delay.
Timmy Mack worked at the Walters Art Museum downtown. Do you know that spot?
Of course I know the Walters Art Museum.
Yeah.
Yeah, Baltimore is amazing for arts and all the arts. Performing arts, media art.
Interesting.
A lot of great bands came out of Baltimore. We just listened to an awful song this morning. I'm sorry. I love Prince, but Prince wrote an awful cliche sounding song about Baltimore. John Waters came out of Baltimore. Have you seen Crybaby?
Yeah.
Filmed right at the Enchanted Forest, which is right over the Baltimore County line. And we used to go there on field trips when I was a kid. It's shut down now because nobody lets us have any fun anymore.
Well, she's plugging Baltimore. Maybe one day I'll plug Oregon. Because I speak American. I say Baltimore because it has a T in it. But one day I'll plug Oregon, not Oregon. I will plug it because Oregon has my heart.
Oh, mercy. Did you guys just hear that belly grumble?
I heard it.
My goodness. So can anybody answer the question? What is the one thing standing in the way of the states from doing what they want to do with cannabis laws? Answer the question. I'm going to read the article. Which I think comes from the same website. Yeah, thegrowthop.com. So big ups to thegrowthop.com, which comes out of Canada. They say, could CBD reduce coronavirus symptoms? This Toronto company is ready to put those claims to test. Toronto-based company Canalog. I like that name. An e-commerce medical cannabis platform has submitted an application to Health Canada to study the impact of cannabis on coronavirus. They believe compounds in the plant may be able to reduce the severity of COVID-19 symptoms. Dr. Corey, the CEO of Canalog and a gastroenterologist, thank you, Dr. Corey. See, look, this is exactly what I medicate for. At the Medical Guerin Hospital in Toronto, says the company has been in contact with Health Canada since December to expedite the trial. Hey, America.
Take note.
What's going on? What's going on, America?
Canada can research THC, can't they?
They can research THC. Canada can, but America can't. For the same reasons that the states aren't able to move forward with their cannabis laws, and OD-Dub got the question correct. OD-Dub, you get a prize for answering what is the biggest thing standing in the way of the state's rights.
Nailed it.
Kinda. Should be a two-word answer. OD-Dub said government. The actual answer is federal government, because there are governments all over the place, even like within your schools and your local housing communities. But the federal government, yes, is the main thing standing in the way from all states moving forward with the cannabis laws that they want to pass for the best interests of their constituents.
And who's encouraging the federal government to behave that way? The lobbyists at, what he said, the pharma.
At the big industry. Pharma. So you get a double prize. OD-Dub, if you send me your information, I will send you out some hemp seeds, courtesy of Cloverleaf Farm. So hit me up at joey@thefreedomline.com. That's JOIE at thefreedomline. That should be simple. .com.
So OD-Dub also nailed the tobacco question, I think, as far as what could make the tobacco illegal. He said no tax stamp. And if you look on your packs of smokes, you'll see a tax stamp on it. And if it doesn't have it, maybe that makes it illegal. That means that you did pay the taxes. I'm not so sure about loose tobacco.
Yeah, I'm looking at this pack of Bugler here.
Maybe it's on the box that the case
possibly.
that it came in.
I mean, it's got like a little serial number thing here, but it's
that could be
very
Surgeon General.
Big old Surgeon General warning. This product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. How come there's no warning on my coffee? Why is it so important for the warning to be on here but not on the coffee?
It's not on my sugar either.
What the hell?
Or my soda.
It doesn't come on my chicken fingers that I throw in the deep fryer vat. Like, warning, this deep fryer may cause diabetes and heart disease and God knows what else. It's ridiculous.
Although if you walk into a hardware store in California, there's usually signs on the door that says, objects in this store may cause cancer.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a thing?
That's totally a thing. I have a picture of it somewhere.
Wouldn't it be cool if we just taught these common sense things to our children in schools, and therefore we didn't need to post the signs because everybody would know it? Or
here's my issue with it. It's not the government's job to protect us from ourselves. It's not. It's not their job. It's our job. That's a personal choice that you make. It's not their job to protect us from ourselves.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. So yeah, OD Dub, get me your information, and I will send you out the hemp seeds. And Dawn Marie just tuned in. Dawn is amazing. I've known her my entire life. My mom 2.0, and she's actually the one who shared that CBD article that we just read. Miss Dawn, you missed it. I can't not call her Miss Dawn because of the level of respect that I have for this woman. She's a nurse. She was a caregiver for senior citizens homes for a long time.
What a thankless job.
Yeah, I don't want to get too much into...
So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I don't want to get too much into her personal story, but she found out that, you know, cannabis could have been helping all of these people that she was taking care of. And through all of her years of schooling, nobody told her this. So she joined the Cannabis Nurses Network and worked closely with a dispensary in Maryland right when her opening, and has been monumental in the outreach and education of patients. And she's also married to an awesome guy who works for a lot of hemp laws and helped get the federal Farming Act, the Farm Bill, get the wording in there right so our hemp farmers could at least start growing there. Miss Dawn, I love you forever.
She says, you are dear to me. I used to do infection control.
Oh, see? So
she's the expert.
Knows a lot about this COVID right here. And I have a good inclination that she's doing what she can to take care of her local community during this corona scare.
And that's probably the best we can do, is support our local communities. Those are your neighbors. That's where you frequent most of your life. Look out for each other. Remember that you're all human.
That's all you can do. I mean, you can't save the world, right? But you can work with your neighbors and maybe save that block on your street, right? We need to think smaller to make bigger actions happen. Like the more you localize your thoughts.
If you want to change the world, start at home.
Start at home. The man in the mirror. Yeah, that song used to give me chills when I was a kid. I'll stop. Should we smoke some more cannabis?
Have I ever said no to that? Oh, I don't wake and bake. Yeah, that's when I say no.
You say no in the morning.
I say no in the morning. I know that makes me like probably wannabe pothead, but if I wake up and smoke pot, you know that feeling that you just wake up and you're wiping the sleepies from your eyes and you're just not, you know, jazzed about not being in bed anymore? If I smoke weed, I feel like that the rest of the day. So I got to wake up to some Java. And then, so technically, I'm wake and baking with you guys because now I'm awake. And this is my first bowl of the day.
You wake up and you do drugs every morning.
I do a different drug. And then I do that drug.
Said no one ever. I can't wait to wake up and get my drugs. No, it's just coffee. Wish we'd stop calling cannabis a drug. I mean, it is.
Yeah, it is.
But, I mean, that's like the umbrella term, right?
Anything that alters the mind. So, coffee, sugar, cannabis, alcohol.
Music alters the hell out of my mind. Miss Dawn says Epidiolex is descheduled. So the dominoes are falling. I think that is the THCs. And I'm going to look that up right now.
Epidiolex. Epi, like an EpiPen?
I don't know. Let's see. Oh, my.
So the dominoes are falling. Yeah, that house of cards can only balance for so long when it's tyrannical. And history has shown that over and over again. It doesn't repeat, it rhymes. And the house of cards that's tyrannical is coming down.
Okay, so Epidiolex is a anti-seizure drop.
Okay.
Cannabidol protocol discovered in 1941.
1940.
Yeah, weed was discovered in 1940.
Well, this drug was, right? Is that what it said?
No, this is going on to what's inside the drug, which is CBD. So this is, I don't know, I'm nervous about that because now we've got Big Pharma and the government controlling what appears to be just a CBD tincture that you can likely get at, don't go to the gas station and get tincture, guys.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Get it from a reputable CBD distributor, seller, grower.
Good Lord, if you want to know where to find them, just freaking ask me. Just ask. I keep in good company with these people for a reason, because I'd like them to succeed over these guys.
Yeah, so it's an FDA-approved cannabis-derived medication for seizures. Yet the DEA says that it's a Schedule 1. Schedule 1 means there is no medical properties whatsoever. That's what Schedule 1 means. We've obviously proven that wrong already. My question is, why does the DEA, law enforcement, get to decide whether something has medical properties or not? Why is that not the physicians who treat these medical issues? Why is it law enforcement? Question for the philosophers.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Kayla, have a blessed day, everyone. Oh, you too.
Every day, Kayla. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat place. We've got... we're only halfway in, man.
Only halfway? What are we gonna...
a productive
What are we gonna babble about for the next 30 minutes? How about weed?
Weed! We started with the bad story, right?
Yeah.
Sweet little old farmer lady in California. They pulled up to her house with big scary vehicles and black vests and tactical gear and guns in her face.
They did what we did in Iraq. When I was in Iraq, we would do the same thing to terrorists, to insurgents. We would kick down their doors in full tactical gear and put them on their face and take them out. And we're doing this to American citizens who are peacefully not hurting anyone. They're not putting bombs on the road. They haven't hurt anybody. They're growing a plant. And we treat them like a war enemy.
They're doing this to your grandmother, okay? They're doing this to your grandmother and all the little ladies she plays bingo with every Saturday. So, things need to change. I said it before. You said it before. I'm going to continue to say it. If cannabis has been deemed an essential item, if the industry has been deemed essential in a time of crisis, there is no excuse for that not to be considered essential moving forward and for all laws underneath of that to fall in place. So we need to stress that once this pandemic ends, once everybody's allowed to go outside and be their normal selves anymore. You guys, heads up, because it's not going to be easy.
So don't forget, when the dust settles, that during a crisis, the government said that these criminals are not a danger to society, and they release them. Why is it that during a crisis they're not a danger, but when everything is peaceful they are? Why are we holding them ransom?
Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. And that's what, shameless plug number 2, the Walk for Change. Whoop, whoop, the Walk for Change. .us, walk number 4 change.us intends to do. Now the teams, and there are many scattered across the country that were working to make this walk happen, are now trying to revamp, because our assumption is we won't be able to assemble like we wanted to in September, October, sometime right before the 2020 election to demand our cannabis freedoms. So we're going to have to kind of revamp, but if anybody has any ideas or wants to offer their services or volunteer time, or if you want to get a cool t-shirt, walk number 4 change.us and see how you can get involved. And if you have any great ideas about ways that we can change this from a walk across the country where we might all get locked up, not for our cannabis, but just for being outside, throw us some ideas. We're dying for some input. Dying for some input. You packing that up again?
Yeah.
What are we packing this time?
Whatever rate is right here on the table. I have no idea what that is.
That is the last of this London pound cake.
It's the last of it.
The last. I did get to keep this cool container. This is like childproof to the max. You gotta twist it, pull it, twist it the other way.
You almost need an engineering degree to get it open.
This is crazy.
It kicked my ass.
I hope this guy got a patent, man. This might be the next Bic lighter.
No, that bag screwed me up. That childproof bag. It had the second little handle to open it. I was trying. Oh man, I was about to cut it. OD Dub asked, "Was cannabis growing wild in Iraq?" It was in Afghanistan. No. actually. It wasn't. I never saw much grow wild in Iraq, unless you got close to the rivers, the Tigris and the Euphrates. Then it got more vegetation, but the rest of the country was just kind of a desert. Not too much shrubbery above a couple of, maybe a foot or two. There was a lot of opium, though. Families with pounds and pounds of opium, which was their harvest that they would grow. And it's illegal there, but their their police in Iraq was a militarized force. They didn't pull people over for speeding. They were there to fight just like us.
Interesting.
So people were growing opium, and that was their crop, and that's how they supported their families over there. Which we never really, us personally never did anything about that, because that's not why we were there. But I wouldn't be surprised if later we had civilian contractors, Triple Canopy or Blackwater, go and raid and take their property. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. I have heard of that happening. But no, we didn't see too much cannabis growing in Iraq. I know that Afghanistan is a lot more mountainous, a lot more able to grow. It's got higher elevations. A lot of people don't know that about Afghanistan. Yes, there's the desert, but there's also mountains, and it snows, and it gets cold. I don't know where you were in Afghanistan either, but
that's why you have the Afghan Kush. All the Kush strains originated in Afghanistan because of that elevation.
Well, just the term hashish is Arabic.
Hashish is Arabic. I mean, it's been key to their culture and the human culture in general forever. And you mentioned opium. When we had opium dens in America, people weren't shooting up heroin. I mean, if opium was the thing they wanted to do, they went to these opium dens and then they passed out there and they safely went home in the morning. And it wasn't until Prohibition, which also eliminated the authority for you to make the decision to grow opium in America and utilize opium, that's when, a few years down the road, we started seeing heroin emerge.
Go figure. We started seeing heroin emerge, and what we saw more of is doctors and pharmaceutical companies pushing opiates.
Which is a fake form of what nature gave us in opium.
And then they take it away from you at one point because they've deemed that it's a drug that's not healthy. And then these people turn to street level opiates or opioids in order to treat their own pain.
And meanwhile, we use these things in combat. Like back to the Civil War, they were giving people opium and things like that to
as a painkiller.
As painkillers, and when they had to amputate your leg the way that they did that back then, which couldn't be fun. If opium worked for that, why do we got to give people this stronger stuff just to extract a tooth? Good Lord, they gave me fentanyl and propofol at the same time when I had a couple of teeth taken out not too long ago.
To be fair, you better knock me out to do dental work, because I am a huge wimp at the dentist.
I hate that shit.
I'd rather get shot at. So he said we worked for the Afghanistan National Police. First interaction was one of the officers slapping a driver for who knows, Kandahar. Okay. Yeah, it's an aggressive place, combat, isn't it?
We don't like that. We like the non-aggression principle. Speaking of non-aggression principle, that is the center of beliefs in the Libertarian Party. And after this broadcast is over, I want you all to head over to Adam Kokesh's page. I'll go ahead and post a link right now for you. He's going to update us on the coronavirus goings-ons, the stuff that doesn't have to do with weed. But I'm going to pay attention to the marijuanas here, because they keep me healthy. Mind, body, and soul. We're in the middle of a crisis, and what better way to stay calm and happy? And I do want to be clear when I say we're in the middle of a crisis. Like, I've really not changed, and I don't know if you, same thing. I've not changed my life any, except for to kind of bend with these little changes.
I think the biggest change I've made is just being more aware of how close I am to people proximity, which I already don't really care to be near a lot of folks. Anyways, I don't do big groups, but even when I go to the store, I'm just being cautious. I have my mask on. I'm using more hand sanitizer. If I see some in a store, I use it. I got it at home. So, yeah, it is a crisis, but my life hasn't really changed significantly yet. I guess we'll see what happens in the next couple of months. It's kind of, everything's up in the air. This like calm before the storm kind of feels like, I think. And either the storm's going to dissipate or it's not. So I'm not going to stress about it until I know.
That's it. You just got to kind of roll with it. And this happens to all of us in life. I mean, forget the crisis, right? How many times in your life you think everything's going smooth, your bills are paid, your income's matching, and then just something happens, right? You've got to traverse around that speed bump. And
people plan and the universe laughs. So whatever plans that you have in the next few months, be flexible. Semper Gumby. Always flexible.
Semper Gumby. I love that. I love that. John Cresco is watching.
What up, John?
What up, John?
Hey, yo.
Creco. I should be reading this on my phone instead. Creco. I'm sorry, John. What's going on, John? Hey, yo. I like that. I can almost hear you saying that, John. And I'd love for you guys to be able to join us. We can do that. There's like this whole interactive thing on YouTube.
You want to be with us, like on this side or that side, whichever side it splits.
Yeah, but we need to hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube before we can do that. So when you're done here, make sure you head on over to the YouTube page and subscribe.
And hit subscribe.
Like and subscribe
on YouTube. G.I. Mary Jane.
So we should start a G.I. Mary Jane Zigzag YouTube page.
G.I. Mary Jane Zig and Zag.
Where is Zigzag?
There's
Look
Zag.
at her little jacket.
And her little lady coat.
Yeah, it's about 68 degrees out right now, but it got down to 32 out here. Desert life. Desert.
Yeah, when that sun goes down, it takes all the heat with it.
It sure does, man. It sure does. Did we go over all of the stories I wanted to? Let me see. CBD reduced symptoms. Oh, no. Did COVID destroy North Dakota's dreams of legalization? Maybe, but before I even read that article, if COVID didn't, the federal government is. So, do we even need to read the article? Like, how dare you blame a virus for, I bet you, it's not the virus's fault. It's the federal government's response.
Yeah.
And the changes afterwards that is preventing North Dakota, who's likely been working for years to write these bills and communicate with legislature and lobby and
Coronavirus didn't stop anything. The government stopped everything. Which, for better or worse, I'm not going to say. I think time will tell whether that was the right response or not. But I can say that they did it. They stopped the entire economy, and here's what I see. I see that the federal government declared a national emergency at the border and locked people up without due process. And now I see the federal government made a national emergency and locked all of us up without due process. There are people that aren't allowed to leave their homes or their states right now, and they don't have coronavirus. They have not tested positive. There's not a confirmed case in their household, but they can't leave unless it's to Walmart, where they're going to go get exposed. If you do, they're going to go ahead and expose you to the coronavirus by arresting you and putting you in jail, where they released everyone.
It's awful. You sent me a story about that, didn't you?
And maybe you did.
You did. People are like, oh, stop fake news. Blah. They're not arresting people. They are. There's actual live footage and video of people being arrested that are completely healthy for not doing anything.
Except walking on the street. Walking on a public road,
man.
which you have the constitutional right to do. I'm
going to open this real quick and play this video. Hold on. This poor girl, man. And this is happening everywhere. And I forwarded this on to Adam after you shared it with me. And I think he's probably going to cover it in Adam versus the Man at 11 o'clock today. Maybe. I know he had some interviews planned. I can't keep up with all this stuff, man.
It's been a busy couple weeks.
It's been a busy couple weeks. And we're just now getting settled. And I feel totally blessed to be settled. But okay, I'm going to play this and I'm going to show it to you. And it's going to look backwards here if you're watching live on Facebook. But once I publish it over on YouTube, you'll get to see it the right way because I'll be able to flip it. I almost flipped the bird. No, psych. I love you guys. This is awful. They're going to put me in cuffs. They're putting me in cuffs right now. In a mask.
Hello. Hi, how are you? Hi. Yes, that's me.
Hi, do you have an ID?
I do. I just cleaned it off with the alcohol in my car.
Okay, it's upside down. Can you turn it up?
Yes, ma'am.
So,
She said 10 days for the results?
7.
7. I guess I have to take my
It
mask
could
off.
possibly be sooner, but it's 7 days or so.
Is the Invisalign in my mouth going to affect the test? Should I take it out?
In your nose.
Okay, fine. It goes all the way back to the back of my nose.
Correct. And it's going to test for the flu and the coronavirus.
They're
Great.
sticking things in her nose on the side
Yeah.
of the road.
They're testing her for coronavirus.
Just breathe normal, okay?
Is she at a test site?
Yes,
Okay.
she
She went there
said that she
voluntarily.
had some symptoms that concerned
It wasn't
her.
that
She
bad.
had like an itch in her throat.
Thank you. I'm going to roll
So
my
she
window up so
decided
I
to
don't
go
give you
get
anything.
tested.
I just
Be
go now?
safe.
Roll up your window and head out.
Look
Thank
at that
you.
common sense.
But you can see she's taking all the precautions, mask, gloves.
Now I'm heading out. These wonderful people here working so hard to keep everyone well. Anyway, so that's it, ladies and gentlemen. If you develop the cough, mine started with just a little tickle in the back of my throat, and actually it's still there. Maybe it's just random and just terrible timing to be sick, and maybe have the flu.
So she's just keeping people.
Maybe
She's just trying to
it's
show
corona,
people what
but I will
the
kick its ass.
testing's like
You know,
in her state.
Listen, that's all you
Doing a
can hope
service,
for.
really.
Hey guys, listen, I'm walking downtown, my normal exercise routine. Guess what? I just got stopped by the police for being myself. Check this out. So these are the cops. The cops are stopping me in this unmarked vehicle, and the cops are trying to say that I can't be out here right now. So, you guys, this right now live is our liberties being taken away. Our liberties are being taken away right now. I want you guys all to see this. I want you guys all to know this. This is me walking on an empty street where I have the police department stopping me for walking on an empty street for being suspect of being a
There's
corona
other people
victim.
walking on
I'm
the
being
street, you'll see.
stopped for no reason. I've done nothing wrong. Hey, excuse me, hi. I've done nothing wrong here. I don't know why you're detaining me. I haven't broke the law. This is an American citizen losing
And here's
her
why they
liberties.
detained her.
I've done nothing wrong. I have no test results. I'm not positive, not negative.
Are you posting on your social media that you are positive?
Do I have the right to post on my social media? Is there a freedom of press?
On your social media that you are positive for corona?
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. I had symptoms of corona. There's a big difference. There's a big difference.
So you were told by the hospital to self-quarantine?
I did that 14 days. It's done.
When you were tested 11 days ago, you were told to self-quarantine?
If I had symptoms, if I
7
had the
days,
coronavirus, I had to self-quarantine. When they called me on the phone and they said I was negative for the flu, they said, we don't know nothing, so there's nothing that they can do.
Self-quarantine until you
If I became positive and there are no test results,
not been told your test results
no,
are back yet.
exactly.
And so you were not self-quarantined.
No, you don't understand. The conversation was this. If you had positive test results, you get quarantined. I have no test results, and I spent already all that time in my house. If you're going to detain me with no test results, we're going to have a lawsuit, y'all. They're going to put me in cuffs.
I hope there's a lawsuit.
Putting me in cuffs, y'all. I keep arrested.
And then they took her phone. Guess they're gonna cut her feed now. But yeah, you guys, this is actually happening.
And they did it based on the evidence that she posted on her Facebook, on her social media. That was their evidence. Claiming that she said that she was positive. And she didn't.
And this looks like somebody actually who probably does a regular live feed for her fitness thing based on what she said. And them guns, girl.
So that first video...
So she probably broadcasts...
That first video was her being tested and saying that she had some symptoms. And you heard them say 7 days. And if she's positive, they have to self-quarantine. She had no positive results. She didn't self-quarantine. And they arrested her for it. It does, in the video later, show that they tested her in the jail. And it came out negative. She was not infected. There was no positive COVID results. And because she was walking down the street, a constitutionally protected right, she was arrested. She was kidnapped and held for ransom based on no evidence whatsoever. That is, hands down, disgusting.
What they do to... It's hands down what they've been
disgusting.
doing to the cannabis community for generations, too. And hands down what they're doing to all non-violent, victimless criminals. And it really needs... Stop, because they could come after me for just stating the obvious for all I know.
Your free speech is being infringed. Your constitutional rights are being infringed. just pay attention.
That's all you can do, right? And pay attention by doing your research. You know, when you see something on Facebook, don't just be like, oh my God, that's the God's honest truth. Look into it. I saw something on YouTube the other day where this guy was like, oh, the mainstream media is trying to use mannequins in their footage and misrepresent. And I watched this thing and I'm like, wait. And it took me some digging and arguing with people. Not arguing. I don't want to argue. People argue. But asking for the actual video so I could see the context. Because while they're showing this dummy, this obvious mannequin on a stretcher with a guy who looks like he's kind of doing a training video and he's pointing at things. And then at some point you see on the wall, mannequin in use. Like there was legitimately a sign there. And this guy's trying to act like the media was trying to misrepresent things, which they do, first of all. But then I get the whole video. And the whole video, they've got footage of this overcrowded hospital. The faces are blurred out. And then they cut to the clear training footage. And then they cut back to the clear actual footage. And this douchebag, mind my French, took that one little segment out of a 9-minute video and was like, oh, they're trying to lie to you. Well, then you got people come out and debunk it. And that helps solidify the mainstream media is the God's honest truth. And you guys, they aren't. No media is the God's honest truth. The only thing the God's honest truth is what you research for yourself and the decisions that you come to for yourself and what's best for you and yourself based off of what you research. Nobody's researching. They're just...
And not to mention, they wouldn't be able to put actual patients on TV.
They did.
Like,
Their
you
faces
have
were blurred out.
protections against that.
It was ridiculous.
So,
everything is ridiculous. Oh, Helen Yeeple finally got back to me with the Walk for Change. And I asked her if the link was ready or if the t-shirts were available on the link, because I have no idea. And she said yes. So if you want a Walk for Change shirt, walk4change.us. And I'll shut up about that. We've only got like 7 minutes left. Oh, 7 minutes on the 7th day of 420.
2020.
Is that crazy that I noticed it at the 7-minute mark?
Hey, do you know what tonight is?
Oh, tell me what tonight is. This isn't...
Tonight is a full moon. And I think I read that it was like a pink moon. I don't know.
Strawberry moon.
Strawberry shortcake moon.
It's probably going to look awesome in the desert because there's already like this pink in the sunset anyway here.
Maybe I could time-lapse film that rising because, well, no, the sun will go down. I could aim it that way. And we could see the moon rise.
I don't think the moon rises until like 10 o'clock tonight, though. But
That's
it'll
okay.
be bright, so it'll be okay. Actually, I've got a little app that tells you.
There's an app for that.
There's an app for that. Moon rise, 6:16 set at 5 foot. Well, that doesn't make sense.
Unless sunsets before that.
Look, my coordinates are still
Boulder.
set in Boulder. Not in Boulder anymore.
No, we'll have to dig.
I'll have to dig.
Hey Google. She's ignoring me right
She's
now.
ignoring me, but you just turned everybody's phone on.
My
Watching
bad.
this. Oops, guys. Oops.
What time does the moon rise in Arizona tonight?
Lunar noon. According to time
Oh,
and
that
date.
is not. Never mind. We'll just do that later.
Hey, Google it. Google it. Just Google it. Oh.
Oh, I activated hers.
Oh, wait. I said it. I
Oh.
said Google it.
Hey,
And
Siri.
My phone was like, blah. This is ridiculous. All these.
Now I'm messing with everyone's phones.
Hey, marijuana.
You can name your Google Assistant whatever you want. Did you know that?
Yeah. I don't have my Google Assistant anymore because we don't have like Wi-Fi around out here.
Mm-hmm.
But my Google Assistant does refer to me as G.I. Mary Jane.
Mine calls me my name, Zig.
And it's only because it can't pronounce my actual name. It'll be like, hey, Joie. And I'm like, no.
Joie.
Good try. Just do try. Good
Jolie.
Joie.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Bonjour.
I only know that word from the movie, the Disney movie. Bonjour. Bonjour. The Beauty and the Beast. Haha, it took me a second.
Gaston. Oh my gosh. We should do like a Disney binge watch thing.
Oh, yeah.
Just like the old 90s Disney movies.
Who wants to
before
Disney
got
with us?
suck.
Watch party.
So who do I want to plug? Oh, 6 minutes. Go and head over to Adam's page to catch Adam versus the Man Coronaphobia update. What else do we need? We need to get the GI Mary Jane website back up, but in order to do that, we need y'all's help. So donations. I will post the links. Cash App, PayPal. If you got 5 on it,
I got 5 on
we
it.
can get that website back up pretty quickly, and it'll be there for a year.
So what's on your website?
On my website is drug war news, and I've not been keeping up, and now the domain's expiring. But typically, myself and the few volunteers that I've got scattered across the country would share drug war news, but from the perspective of the victims. Like you said, it's not an arrest, it's an abduction. It's not a raid, it's a robbery, is what it is.
And it's not a bond or a bail, it's a ransom.
It's a ransom. So we report the news the way it should be reported. And then also I used to keep up on all the events from different little grassroots organizations going on around the country. But we can't have events anymore, so, you know.
Maybe we could figure out a way to do virtual events. We're trying to do this.
Yeah, considering this, it's the best time for the website to expire, you know, because, like, you know, what are we gonna do for a month? What we're gonna have to do is contingency. Figure out what's next. What does Civilian Platoon 420 need to do to help keep the community educated about cannabis arrests? War news. We'll figure it out. If you guys have any ideas, email me. Joey@thefreedomline.com, JOIE @thefreedomline.com. And let me know, should we do a GI Mary Jane and Zigzag YouTube?
Yeah.
Separate?
We should.
Because I'm gonna have
Would
to
you
get
guys
back
like to
on.
see us more
Did you
on
wanna see
YouTube?
us more?
Let us know.
Let us know. Yeah, because we could just smoke every day. And then I can get all serious when I get revamped back into, you know, the war room.
You're always serious.
Ah,
She's so serious.
ah.
Michael says, hi. Hello again, brothers and sisters.
Hey, Mike.
You caught us at the tail end, but you still have time to go check out Adam Kokesh. He's about to be live. War Room, right?
Adam versus the man.
Adam versus the man. He's a QR code. He's got a QR code and everything. It's official.
Doesn't everybody have a QR code? My Cash App has a QR code. I just posted Adam's link. So you want some Corona news and news about freedom and what we're doing here at the Garden of Freedom to try to prepare for, we don't know what's to come, but of course there's a couple different outcomes. He's actually made a chart to map out these possible outcomes. It's kind of cute. I don't know if he's going to pull it out this time, but we'll
I
see.
can't wait.
We'll see. But head on over there. We'll see you there. We're going to tune in as well. This is like the last hit. Do you want this shit hit?
No, we'll just
Pack another one later.
save it.
Save it for another day. That's it. That's all I got today. That weed made me feel really good. This is the Humboldt Crush.
The Humboldt Crush. Deuce 0.68%.
Thank you, Humboldt. Now, if we could stop arresting all the craft cannabis farmers, I will never call them black market farmers, or craft home growers.
Craft market.
If we could stop doing that in California, that would be phenomenal. No, we'll get there. All right, guys. You done? Any shameless plugs?
Nope.
Zach, your sweater is so Woodstock. She needs like little round linen glasses with that.
I always
thing.
kind of thought it was like almost Game of Thrones.
It is
like
kind of Game
the
of Thrones,
lady
maybe.
of the house.
It depends. It's one of those things like depending on the accessory, it could get a different feel. I dig that. All right, y'all. We're going to head out. I'm going to remind you again to pass joints, not judgment, because we're all in this together. Peace and love. We'll see you next time.
Say bye, Zag.
Bye, Zag. Bye, guys.